Hi, Astri. Nice to see we have more essays from you. This first one is about the Olympics. Here's what you said. Since entering the 21st century, nation leaders throughout the world have been debating whether benefits of vast international sports events such as the Olympics are worthwhile considering the high budget needed. In my opinion, an event that can bring countries together is essential to promote priceless values such as peace and solidarity. This essay will explain my opinion using examples from the Olympics held in London and Rio de Janeiro to provide arguments. Lovely. I liked a lot of the vocabulary like this: priceless values, peace and solidarity, vast international sports events. Excellent job. All right, let's move on. An international sport tournament can play a significant role in reducing conflicts and in delivering the message of world peace. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, the fact that many countries participate in such tournaments makes it easy to promote peace. Okay, why? So rather than just going to this secondly, it's really helpful if you can back it up with a support directly after it, okay? Secondly, athletes who compete in sports bring the spirit of respect towards themselves and others, which can encourage them to avoid political disagreement. For example, the London Olympics 2012 was used by the United Nations to revive the Olympic truce, which encourages participating countries to cease all conflicts for 7 days before, during, and 7 days after the Games. Since then, it has been applied in every Olympics, so the safety of athletes, officials, and supporters are always ensured. Now, is always ensured, because it's safety. Not during the event, not only during the event, but also when they are traveling to and from the host country. All right, what a lovely paragraph in terms of your vocabulary, in terms of your grammar. All of that is done very, very well. The one thing that I'm going to really emphasize again is this this issue of your proof. Okay, so you went straight into your second main idea without actually supporting your first. And in fact, it looks like your proof is actually all the way down here, which doesn't make the organization of your sentences particularly logical. What would make more sense is for you to write this thing about promoting peace, and then use this example about the London Olympics, and then to write this thing about the athletes who bring the spirit of respect towards each other. But then that requires its own piece of support, okay? So you are still missing something here, but still the order of the sentences needs to be a little different. All right, let's move on. On the other hand, sport events can promote humanity by providing opportunities for marginalized communities to participate. Competing in an international tournament for those who are marginalized is empowering because they can show their ability to be recognized by the world. All right, this is very interesting so far, although marginalized is it's a word that sticks out, basically, and so I'm glad that you used it, but I'm not really happy with the fact that you used it twice in such a short span, okay? Try to vary it up. Okay. So let's see, what are you actually talking about here? Who are these people who are marginalized? The Rio Olympics in 2016, when the refugee Olympic team was invited for the first time, is an example of how sport can bring solidarity. Being forced to live in a foreign country can be traumatic. In contrast, participating in the Olympics makes them feel appreciated. Moreover, seeing their peers compete in a global event delivers a message of hope for other exiles. Okay, what a lovely idea and what lovely vocabulary you used. All of that is really great, but there is one little issue that I have here. Let's talk about, again, the way you made your ideas here progress, okay? So what do I mean? You said that it promotes humanity by promoting marginalized people. Then you say it's empowering because they can be recognized by the world. And then you talked about solidarity, but I'm not so sure that this whole idea of solidarity fits in here. So sport can bring solidarity. I mean, what does that have to do with showing your ability and being recognized? So I just don't really feel like that sentence particularly fit with everything else you were saying. Even though I liked it as a sentence and I thought the whole thing, I was like, oh, what great vocabulary, empowering and marginalized and solidarity and, you know, a message of hope, like, and exiles, all of that was so lovely. But truth be told, I don't really think that that sentence fit into this paragraph. I think it looks like you had some really good ideas, but somewhere in the execution of writing these ideas, some of the coherence and some of the cohesion got a little lost in this paragraph, okay? Let's move on. To conclude, considering that in my current century, nations are still struggling to reduce conflicts and solve the refugee crisis, I am convinced that the Olympics are still relevant no matter how high the budget, no matter how high a budget is needed. Okay, that's lovely. So I think I've been pretty clear about what some of the issues with this essay are. Now, one last thing that I want to mention before we move on is that you were really in favor of the Olympics. You were really in favor of it from the beginning. This was fine, but then look at this. This, on the other hand, is not appropriate here. We use on the other hand only if we've written on the one hand previously. You didn't. And honestly, it's also not a contrasting statement. You're just adding to this. So really one of these linking devices which adds an idea would have been a much more solid choice here, okay? All right, let's move on now. Shoe sales. Here's what you said. The bar chart, because it's called a line graph, but it's called a bar chart. So the bar chart shows sales of two types of leather shoes, namely brown and black, in 9 different European countries in 2018. Hungary had the highest sale of black leather shoes at approximately 140,000, followed by Italy, Belgium, and the UK at almost 125, about 110, and exactly 100 respectively. The other countries had broadly the same number, from around 60 to just fewer than 75,000, except for France, whose sales were far below 50,000. I'm really glad that you grouped these together. That was great. Okay. Now, are we talking about black shoes here only, or are we talking about all shoes? That wasn't entirely clear. It looks like you're talking about black. All right, let's see. On the other hand, the figure of brown leather shoe sales was above 100,000 in Poland. That's true. Hungary, Germany, and Italy. The sales were exactly 100,000 in Ireland, and more or less the same for Holland, the UK, and France, approximately 75,000. Finally, this type of shoe was least popular in Belgium, whose sales were only less than 1/10 of that of Poland. Overall, brown leather shoes were more popular in France, Germany, Ireland, Holland, and Poland, whereas people in the UK, Belgium, Hungary, and Italy preferred black leather more. Okay, I actually like what you did here at the end, because this way you absolutely ensured that you did not leave out any key information. That's one place where a lot of people trip up here with this particular task, because you have all these countries and many people fail to mention one or more of those countries, which then becomes a huge problem for your task achievement score. You didn't run into that problem based on what you did. I liked what you did here. I like that you separated black leather shoes and then brown leather shoes here. That was a good way to do it. It wasn't the only way, but it was a good way. Maybe I just wanted it to be clearer that you were going to talk just about black leather shoes here and brown leather shoes here. But it's a detail, really. On the whole, I enjoyed this task one quite a bit. It was clear, it was easy to follow, and it was done quite nicely. Okay, so Astri, good job. Go ahead and correct these. Let's see what you do for us in your next set. We'll be waiting. Good luck.